Imagine a woman named Alara standing in the dim glow of her kitchen at 2 a.m., the steam from her untouched tea curling like a ghost in the air. She's 34, with laugh lines that betray years of smiling through clenched teeth, and eyes that carry the weight of 1,000 unspoken no's. Tonight, like so many nights before, she's replaying the dinner party, the one where she nodded along to her best friend's endless complaints about her job, even though Ilara's own career was crumbling under deadlines she never asked for. She laughed at her sister's passive jabs about her endless singlehood, biting back the truth that she'd cancelled 3 dates this month to play mediator in family feuds. And when her co-worker texted mid-meal, "Hey, can you cover my shift tomorrow? You're a lifesaver," she typed back, "Of course," before the fork even hit her plate. Now alone with the hum of the refrigerator, that quiet anger stirs. Not at them, but at the mirror across the room, where her reflection stares back like a stranger. "Why do I keep doing this?" she whispers to the empty space. "Why am I the one who's never okay?" You've felt it too, haven't you? That bone-deep fatigue that isn't from running marathons or late nights at the office, but from the invisible marathon of being the good one, the reliable one, the polite one who swallows discomfort like bitter medicine, ensuring no one else tastes it. You keep the peace at all costs, dodging conflict like landmines, scanning every room for signs of unrest, making sure everyone's laughter rings true before yours dares to join. And at day's end, when the world exhales and goes quiet, you're left with the shards, a simmering resentment you bury under pillows, conversations looping in your mind like a scratched record. Why did I say yes to that favor? Why didn't I push back when she interrupted me? You call it kindness, a noble badge of honor. But in the hush of honesty, it's something sharper, fear. Not the dramatic kind that sends you fleeing from shadows, but the subtle terror of rejection. If I disappoint you, you'll leave. And I can't survive that. Ilara remembers the first time she noticed it back in her 20s, fresh out of college with dreams of writing novels that cracked open hearts. She was at a party, buzzing with ideas for her manuscript, when a friend, let's call her Mia, leaned in with that casual dismissal. "Novels. Cute, but you should focus on something stable, like real work." Ilara felt the words land like a slap, her excitement curdling into doubt. She could have said, "This is my fire, don't dim it." Instead, she laughed it off. "Yeah, you're right. Stability first." Mia's smile widened, the tension dissolved, and Ilara's dream tucked itself away, another casualty of the peacekeeper's arsenal. It wasn't love driving that bend, it was survival. We all do it, twist ourselves into shapes that fit the moment, the person, the expectation. We become chameleons in our own lives, shedding colors until we're a muted gray, safe but unseen. And oh, the danger in that slow erasure. Every concession, every silenced truth whispers a lie to your nervous system. Who you are isn't enough. You must perform, earn your seat at the table, prove your lovability through endless accommodation. Tell yourself that long enough, and the girl who once chased fireflies in summer fields, the boy who built forts from couch cushions, dreaming of adventures, fades into myth. Ilara lost her novelist spark, not in one cataclysmic moment, but in 1,000 tiny surrenders, volunteering for extra shifts to seem indispensable. hosting gatherings she dreaded to keep friendships afloat, agreeing to blind dates with men who bored her because solitude felt like failure. Her stress mounted not from ambition's fire, but from the ash of unwanted obligations. Her anxiety bloomed in relationships where honesty was a luxury she couldn't afford, where a single candid word might shatter the fragile truce. And that anger, it wasn't at Mia or her sister or the co-worker, it was at Ilara herself, for abandoning the compass of her own heart just to be liked. The ancient Stoics, those unflinching philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, scribbling by lamplight amid Roman chaos, saw this trap with crystalline clarity. Peace, they insisted, isn't a gift from a benevolent world that finally bends to your will. It's forged within, reclaimed when you cease outsourcing your worth to the whims of others. Chronic approval-seeking is the ultimate surrender, handing the reins of your happiness to strangers, colleagues, lovers, letting a single offhand comment or frosty glance dictate your inner weather. Picture it, your center of gravity, that sacred core, dangling precariously in someone else's palm. One careless squeeze and you're unmoored, mood plummeting like a stone. That's not love. It's dependency, a velvet chain disguised as connection. It manifests in the everyday horrors, entering a room and instinctively cataloging faces for approval, your presence eclipsed by the frantic management of their reactions. You're not living. You're curating, babysitting emotions that aren't yours, all while they sail on oblivious to your quiet hemorrhage. Ilara hit her breaking point on a rainy Tuesday in autumn. It was her mother's birthday lunch, a sprawling affair at the old family home where aunts gossiped over pie and uncles nursed grudges from decades past. Ilara arrived early, arms laden with homemade lasagna she'd slaved over, despite a migraine pulsing behind her eyes. She played referee when Uncle Theo's politics clashed with cousin Lila's, deflected her mother's sighs about her wasted potential with deflections of humor. And when the afternoon dragged into evening with no end to the small wars, she felt it, a crack in her armor. No one noticed her paling cheeks, her forced smiles thinning to threads. They ate her food, laughed at her jokes, leaned on her steadiness, and departed with hugs and "You're the best, Elle." She drove home in the downpour, tears blurring the wipers. Realizing the cruel double loss, she'd sacrificed her peace for their comfort and received no medal, no whispered gratitude for the weight she bore alone. There comes a moment, and perhaps this is yours, reader, the one where the veil tears, when the math no longer adds up. Not out of sudden misanthropy, not a hardening of the heart, but a weary recognition. You cannot keep bleeding to blanket the world's chill. There's no nobility in self-immolation for others' ease. We romanticize the martyr, the eternal giver, conflating goodness with boundless availability, kindness with the refusal to utter no, but a heart that perpetually betrays its own rhythm fractures, splintering into shards incapable of true unfiltered love. You can't pour from a vessel cracked by survival mode. Can't be present when you're forever editing your essence in real time. Can't anchor if your worth wavers with every external gust. Ilara's moment arrived, not in thunder, but in the soft patter of that rain against her windshield. She pulled over on a deserted stretch of road, engine idling, and let the sobs come. raw, unpolished, without the safety net of performance. No more, she vowed to the empty car, to the woman in the rear view whose eyes finally met her own. Stoicism offered the blueprint. Control the realm that's yours, intentions etched in your will, choices carved from your convictions, standards forged in your fire. Release the rest. Opinions that swirl like autumn leaves, expectations that bind like vines, reactions that rage like storms you didn't summon. You are permitted, nay, obligated to allow disappointment, to let someone brand you selfish for drawing a line in the sand, to stride from arms that only embrace the convenient you. Saying it aloud feels defiant, a rebel yell against the polite chains of upbringing. But embodying it, that's the forge. The inaugural no lands like a stone in still water, ripples of guilt crashing against your resolve. Am I unfair? Am I cruel? The discomfort coils, a withdrawal from the drug of overgiving, the overdose of accessibility you've dosed out for years. Yet discomfort isn't peril, it's the herald of expansion. Guilt isn't indictment, it's the echo of a boundary newly drawn, a line you finally dared to etch. In the weeks that followed, Ilara tested these waters tentatively. She declined Mia's invitation to a weekend getaway, the one that would have meant skipping her writing retreat. "I need this time for me," she texted, fingers trembling over send. The reply came swift, "Wow, okay. Didn't know you were too busy for friends now." Guilt gnawed, but Ilara breathed through it, remembering the Stoic dictum. Her integrity, not Mia's offense, was her charge. At work, when the co-worker pinged again, she replied, "I can't cover, I've got my own load." No elaboration, no softening qualifiers. The silence that followed felt like a held breath, but when it released, nothing crumbled. The world spun on, and Ilara stood taller, her lungs filling with the rare air of unapologetic space. That calm she chased, it arrived not as fanfare but as a hush, a slower rhythm, a breath at full depth, no longer constricted to fit another's gaze. No shrinking to seem lovable, no dimming her voice for acceptance's sake, no exhaustive justifications to preempt upset. She ceased performing and simply was, and in that being power bloomed. Not the brash kind that demands spotlights, but a rooted gravity, an emotional sovereignty that drew others near, not through supplication, but through the quiet magnetism of the unapologetic self. When you refuse to orbit, begging for selection, you become the center, attractive not in desperation's flicker, but in steadiness's glow. People sense it, the one who fears no loss, who chooses from abundance, not scarcity. That's not hubris, it's liberation. This, then, is your genesis. Not to audition eternally for worthiness, but to align with your truth and bid the world adapt or depart. Let it settle not as abstract ink on page, but as a pulse in your veins. For from here the map unfurls. 1. The principle of inner focus. Ilara's journal entry from that rainy night read like a confession. I thought devotion meant erasure. I'll mend you, hold you, absorb your storms, don't mind the cracks in me. It was the quietest betrayal cloaked in love's finest garb. Friends praised her as the rock, the confidant, the one who never faltered. You're a saint, Elle, her sister would say, after Ilara spent hours untangling the latest romantic tangle, her own heart tangled in forgotten dreams. But in the witching hours, when distractions fled and the house fell silent, exhaustion whispered truths no one else heard. When is it my turn? When does someone map the contours of my ache the way I chart theirs? That voice, the unvarnished you, most drown in the clamor of obligation. The core tenet here is stark, slicing through niceties. Existence for others' pleasure is a gradual self-deletion. It creeps in microdoses, those innocuous choices that compound like interest on a debt you'll never repay. You utter half-truths to preserve harmony, muzzle opinions lest they brand you difficult, feign wellness amid inner tempests to evade the dramatic label. You morph into emotional convenience food, palatable, undemanding, forgettable, invisibility wrapped in accommodation. Elara traced it back to girlhood, playgrounds where sharing toys bought alliances, where tears were traded for hugs. Survival meant adaptability, safety meant smoothing edges. Adulthood inherited the script. Energy expended on universal embrace meant no one truly encountered her. They met the construct, the unflappable listener, the perpetual yes, the shadow who echoed without asserting. Over years that construct calcified, eclipsing desires, nights lost to novels, mornings for unhurried coffee, values, boundaries she preached but never practiced, the very essence of peace. Hers, not theirs. Stoicism elevates this from lament to lifeline. The good life roots in the inner citadel, awareness as sentinel, self-knowledge as compass, command as crown. Without it, you're adrift, steered by tempests of others' desires, moods, machinations. Approval's thrall seeds the helm, leaving you bewildered in waters not your own. Inner focus reclaims it. Proceed, are they content with am I true to my core? Supplant, do they approve? With do I honor my showing? For Elara, the pivot was seismic, a full-spectrum identity overhaul. Childhood conditioning primed the inverse. Room scans for cues, adjustments for acclaim, rewards for pliancy, rebukes for candor. Pleasing secured love's fragile thread, a survival skill honed in tender years. But maturity demands reckoning. Does this tactic sustain or sabotage? Elara's answer came in the mirror's unflinching gaze, quietly killing, one concession at a time. The serenity of unmanaged perception dawns subtle, undramatic. No fanfare, no euphoria, just relief's gentle tide. I needn't persuade, I simply am. That self-respect's bedrock, not superiority's bluster, but fidelity's vow. I no longer forsake myself. Probe your days. How much is authentic expression? How much performative preservation? If the inquiry bites, rejoice. Agony is awakening spark. Elara began small, a rebellion in whispers. At her next team meeting, when the boss proposed yet another unpaid overtime push, she didn't nod reflexively. I appreciate the vision, but I can't commit without dropping something else. What's the priority? The room stilled. Her pulse thundered. No applause followed, but neither did apocalypse. In the afterglow, a nascent calm, I showed up as me, and the sky held. 2. The noise of opinions. Elara's phone buzzed mid-sentence as she drafted her first chapter in months, the words flowing like a long-dammed river. It was Mia. Saw your Insta, writing again, bold move. Most people our age are buying houses, not chasing hobbies. The cursor blinked mockingly. Excitement curdled to critique. What will they think if I pursue this? If I fail publicly? If I succeed and they whisper envy? She deleted the draft, the vague tribunal in her mind. Blurry faces of old friends, faceless followers, imagined judges, convincing her the risk outweighed the reward. A moment's joy, slain by preemptive scrutiny. That's the thief of peace, the relentless query, what will they say? It assassinates potential before breath, sabotages serendipity with specters. You forfeit opportunities not from disinterest, but dread of the spotlight on your becoming. And the they, a phantom congress, not flesh and blood council, but a spectral audience you've conjured, dressing for their gaze, scripting for their nods, preemptively atoning for crimes uncommitted. You curate existence to appease phantoms, censoring vitality for ghosts. The Stoics deemed it profligate folly, squandering vitality on the ungovernable. Others' verdicts. Kindness invites weakness, directness, rudeness, reticence, coldness, bounty, showmanship. Judgment's specter haunts every guise. Why contort for a milder venom? Liberation ignites in acceptance. Critique is inevitable, so inhabit your truth unbowed. Yet the true wound festers not in barbs received, but narratives woven around them. Mia's text didn't say you're foolish. Elara inscribed it. You don't belong among the grounded. Your dreams mark you inadequate. That amplification grants the arrow dominion, transmuting opinion to oracle. You recoil, hesitate, mute in arenas demanding your voice, playing diminutive to evade recurrence. Safety? No, it's self-effacement, a voluntary vanishing act. Enter the Stoic interstice, that fleeting chasm betwixt event and retort, your sovereignty's sanctum. Mia texts, an eye roll flickers in a meeting. Applause withholds for your triumph. Pause. No leap to rebuttal, justification, restitution. Let it drift, an untethered cloud. Indifference here isn't chill detachment, it's discernment. I curate my ingress. Emotional ablutions, purging the profane from your core. Opinions, mostly static, projections of frailty, assaults on aspirations they lack metal to chase, derision masking their own laxity. Tailor to every salvo, and you mirror their malformations, forsaking purpose for their phantoms. Silence, then, is sovereign, not muteness but mastery over knee-jerk ego. The ego clamors, they can't slight me thus, but indulge every prick, and who wields your reins? Not you, their whims. Silence reasserts, your tale is yours. Mine endures unshaken. That's not frailty. It's fortitude, emotional rigor rare as desert blooms, potent as hidden aquifers. Elara practiced in increments. At a family dinner, Uncle Theo's barb about her flighty writing dreams elicited no defensive torrent. She met his eyes, smiled faintly, and pivoted past the potatoes. The room's energy faltered against her poise. Theo grumbled into his plate. Later, alone, she marveled. The barb landed but didn't lodge. Non-reaction unveiled verities. Theo's jest a veil for his stalled regrets. Mia's texts a bid for her own stalled spark. Calm unmasked the terrain. Allies in growth versus puppeteers of control. Serenity as bulwark. Forgo fisticuffs, orations, rectifications. Anchor amid tumult. Let their gales glance harmlessly. Not timidity, but discernment, they unearned your riposte. Practical right, provocation rises, sarcasm sting, judgments lance, inhale, query not agreement but merit. Warrants this my emotional stake? Your involvement is hallowed, exacting toll in vigor, equanimity, reclamation. Oft the verdict, nay, bear this talisman. Reactions are not owed. They're privileges bestowed on the worthy. Alara tallied the toll, myriad pieces yielded to the undeserving. Vowing cessation, she forged a new reflex. Not appeasement, not barricade, but curation of catalysts. Who henceforth sways her orbit? 3. The trap of acceptance. Ilara's closest confidant after Mia was Lena, a whirlwind of charisma and chaos, the sort who lit rooms but left scorch marks. Their friendship spanned a decade, forged in college all-nighters and shared heartbreaks. But lately, Ilara's support felt less like solidarity, more like servitude. Lena's calls at midnight, spiraling through the same boyfriend woes. Ilara's weekends rerouted to emergency brunches where she played therapist sans reciprocity. When Ilara hinted at her own burdens, the novel's stalled plot, a creeping loneliness. Lena's eyes glazed. Sounds rough, but listen to this. Ilara softened her edges. Agreed to half-truths, extended aid beyond capacity. Not from surplus affection, but primal dread. If I withhold, she'll fade, and the quiet will swallow me. Kindness, unmasked, oft masquerades as haggle. Not effusive benevolence, but barter. Temperance for tenure, consensus for camaraderie, utility for union. Please don't retreat, I'll contour to your comfort. Surface acclaim dubs it beautiful soul. Inwardly it's thoracic vice, perpetual audition, vigilance. Did that land amiss? Have I soured the air? Life becomes theater, relaxation a relic. The verity stings. Approval's quest casts you as archetype, not authentic. The ever-nurturing, the jester sans self, the empath eternal. They adore the function, anticipate the script. Deviate, exhaustion's yawn, reticence's veil, unavailability's shadow, and the chorus intones. What's amiss with you? Selfish, aloof, laborious, revelation dawns. Their ardor was for the amenity you dispensed, not the depths you withheld. Addiction's duality, the dopamine spike of they cherish me. I'm anchored, succeeded by performance's yoke, flattening affect to their tolerances. You mute inquiries of joy, supplanting with am I embraced. Humanity yields to compatibility, authenticity atrophying. Dawn breaks on desolation, what do I crave? Void, what do I uphold? Void, who am I, unobserved? Void, adaptation, eclipsed edifice. You flowed formless, deeming it devotion. But what if it's trepidation in fondness frock? Authenticity exacts tariff. Attrition of the superficial, misapprehensions, epithets of egotism from boundaries beneficiaries. Yet pretense's levy is vaster, insidious, somnolent sacrifice, dignity dissolved, voice vitiated, vitality vanquished. Your corpus rebels against chronic constriction, manifesting in knotted sinews, fractured slumber, a physique protesting the psyche's siege. Authenticity forfeits a claim, pretense forfeits essence. Which debt endures? Stoic severity, diarist bondage, chains your sentiments to another's caprice, mood tethered to their favor's flux, dawn's query, are we sound? Eclipsing am I? Not bond but bondage, fear's fetter dubbed endearment. Hearken, conditional courtesy consumes, not cherishes. I relish your succor, persist. You term it sanctuary, yet tension tautens around the affable, sensing the codicils beneath their cordiality. Tolerated, not treasured, contractual, not congenital. The snare imbibing their labor, sustaining the liaison through self-censorship, evading why must I curate for continuance. You shoulder dual loads. They bask in ease, you evaporate. Not incivility, not isolation, not apathy. Emotional veracity. Numbness declaims I require none. Honesty avows I cease dissimulation's drain. Truth terrifies, yet the steadfast evolve with it, attuning, hearkening, honoring verity's provenance. Distinguish clappers of convenience versus companions of candor. Ilara confronted it over coffee with Lena, words trembling on her tongue. I love you, but I can't be your sounding board every crisis. I need space to breathe too. Lena's brow furrowed, a beat of silence stretching like taffy. God, Elle, that's cold. We've always hurt flickered, but Ilara held, it's not cold, it's real. The friendship frayed at edges, but didn't sever. Lena, after stings, began inquiring after Ilara's chapters, tentative reciprocity budding. Others, a work acquaintance ghosted post-boundary. An old flame resurfaced only to decry her distance. Sting yielded to clarity. Access's cost was my core. No more. Interrogate your tableau. Where perform you for permission? With whom? At what expenditure? If serenity's the stake, the wages unwise. 4. Prioritize yourself without guilt. Why the apology for weariness? Ilara mused to her reflection one dawn, shadows under eyes, from another all-nighter consoling a friend. Why preface I can't with preambles, as if fatigue's a felony? Others' exhaustion evokes empathy, not indictment. You champion their repose, decry their selfishness as myth. Yet self-application inverts. Rest reeks of desertion, borders of disdain, negation of neglect. Illogic's root? Indoctrination, cradled in cradles demanding emotional husbandry, placating tempests to forestall frost or flight. Love you learned is spectacle, availability as virtue, assent as armor, negation, enmity against the self, unlearning's imperative, negation is reverence, acknowledging finitude, not flaw. You're no inexhaustible fount, no perpetual panacea. Humanity's bounds are architecture, not frailty. A vessel contains by its confines. Stoic precision, your deeds your domain, their echoes theirs. I require respite defends, their umbrage, their onus. Yours, authenticity sans self-slaughter. The delusion of perpetual largesse, connections architect, safeguards sentinel. Temporarily perhaps, but scrutiny reveals the toll. Distension, depletion, dudgeon's slow simmer. Tally the ledgers in silence. Vigils kept, crises cradled, concessions camouflaged as care. Bricks in your bosom until rupture, not from trivial trespass but cumulative crush. Outsiders decry overreaction, oblivious, for you've schooled them in your indestructibility, effort rendered default, sacrifice spectral. Ilara's ledger spilled in therapy's safety, the siblings' midnight monologues, the colleagues' chronic crises, the lovers' languid leeching. I thought I held the constellation, she confessed. Ego's snare controls cloak, you're no deity, no global girdle. Halting hyperextension isn't malice, it's equity. Permit struggle sans salvation. Rescue after beats stagnation. I cherish you, yet can't shoulder this solitary, she rehearsed, voicing maturity's vernacular. The alternative? Martyrdom's masquerade, fealty's facade over fidelity's fracture. Another verity, certain souls adore solely the donor, the midnight oracle, the inexhaustible ear. Curtail and they evaporate, branding you altered, arctic. Sting? Undeniable, but equilibrium, not avarice, emerges. Purging takers, welcoming reciprocals, unavailability's litany, respite's right, devices dominion, negation's nobility, sans explanatory exegesis. Boundaries breach bespeaks their reverence's paucity, not your resolve's poverty. Stoic praxis, esteem psyche, vigor, serenity as scarcities, times thine to ration rigorously. Normalized negation pre-precipice, forestalling implosion. In Lara's epiphany, I, not they, orchestrate my undoing through a sense avalanche. Ownership liberates, complicit, thus empowered. Guilt's grip on they'll shatter sans me? Disabuse, you're no atlas. Some thrive in trial's forge. Your salvage stunts their steel. Practical pivot. I adore but can't convey this now. Honesty, not havoc. When depletion dawned, Alara audited, where gifting grievously. Vowing halt, she rechristened it not love, but loss, reclaiming her ledger for legacy. 5. The loneliness that strengthens. Solitude's spectre haunted Ilara post-rupture with Lena's lighter version of friendship. Fewer calls, more space, a hollow echo in her evenings. Society's catechism echoed, aloneness as aberration, lunch's lone seat as stigma, introspection's indulgence as malaise. You okay? Friends probed when she demurred group hangs, mistaking quiet for quarter. We equate clamor with vitality, encirclement with equilibrium, forsaking the peril, aversion to isolation auctions, dignity to the lowest bidder, disdain endured, caprice countenanced, facsimile fondness fobbed off as fortune, anything but the hush. Yet aloneness isn't abyss, it's aperture. That evaded emptiness, clarity's cradle, where cacophony seeds to candor. Initial immersion, turbulent regrets resurface, self-recriminations roar, unhealed hurts howl, the muted self clamoring at last. Detox's deluge, propelling retreat to racket. But linger, 10 unadorned minutes, device dormant and alchemy stirs. Panic ebbs, respiration roots, loops loosen. Why court the capricious? Why tender toil unreturned? Why atone for essence? Stillness summons such scrutiny, absent in aggregation's din. Stoics savored seclusion, not from misanthropy, bitterness's bitter fruit, but as regimen. Fortify solitude's stead to connect from plenitude, not penury. Comfort therein yields dual boons. Foremost, discernment's dawn. Spurn subpar summons, the 2 a.m. summons from sporadic sparks, the anxious entanglements dubbed spark. Solitude's ease elevates exigency, quality's quest over quantity's clamor, salvaging seasons from squander. Second, veritas vocalized, the subaltern self, stifled in spectatorship, amplifies in isolation, whisper to warrant, ambiguity to axiom. Self-trust germinates not in mirrors, mantras, but endurance's evidence. The solitary eve sans solicitation, the discord where distance digests sans desperation, the thoracic throb met with I suffice. Trust thwarts tampering. Manipulation thrives on abandonment's apprehension, leveraging loss's spectre. Unfrighted by forlorn, you spurn supplication. Brook no belittlement, exit equably, this terrain unfit. Potent poise caveat, solitude's election, isolation's exile, trauma's barricade scorching spans. Latter's lament, pain's pyre, no passage. Former's fortitude, solitary sovereignty frees selective solidarity. Discern, repose or refuge, and profounder. Why equate alone with unloved, not self-amour's seminar? Ilara's evenings evolved. Initial itch for interruption yielded to immersion. Pen to page, no performances pall. Patterns paraded, pursuit of precarious, proffering sans parity, preemptive pardon. Awareness armed her. Solitude scaffold. One twilight ache ascending, she murmured, I cradle this. No call, no capitulation, trust's tender birth. Loneliness transmuted, not fracture, but forge, rendering her resilient, undrainable. 6. Selective energy, Ilara's epiphany, struck amid a barrage. Mia's vent sesh. Sister's sob story. Boss's 11th hour edict. Post-frenzy, she slumped, vitality vaporized. Not exertion's echo, but emotional effluent. Just fatigued, she muttered, blind to the bleed. Feigned felicity's fire, swallowed slight simmer, victimhood's vortex, relational reassurance's rut. Drainers aren't always discordant, of charming, needy, laudatory, luring laxity, not malevolent, merely miring, stoic sagacity, safeguard psyche as treasure, fragile peace, unstable edifice, tumultuous thought, tempered triage, alienated hours, appropriated arc, weary post-parley, lighter or laden, revelation ripples, elevators, challengers, border-honoring, candid, eschew ceaseless claim, unthreatened by your solipsism. Drainers, distress at your delimitation, changed, indifferent. Translation, my conduit constricts, not affinity, addiction's alarm. Ilara's audit was unflinching. Who exited encounters energized, who eviscerated. Reciprocity's rule, no unilateral fount. Respect's right, no line laceration, no nominal nobility. Stability's stead, no seesaw's sway, no bilateral burden. Deficiency, delimit access, husbandry, not hostility. Phobia of forlorn, delusion. You're solitary already in such sojourns, unseen, unreciprocated, dual-duty drudge. Visibility's valor, cease chasing disquiet, vindicating value, auditioning allegiance. Decree this withers. Withhold water, subtlety's scepter, tardier texts, scarcer soirees, spurned spirals, unhurried haunts. Redirect to renaissance, salubrity, scholarship, serenity. Initial hush unnerves, chaos's kin long accustomed. Yet persistence purifies, cognition clarifies, tension tames, somnus deepens, self resurfaces. Energy's retention, reactivity recedes, intentionality ignites. Trifles transmute trivial, Ilara pruned. Mia's monologues met measured later, sisters' sagas with handle what you can. Space spawned silence's solace, recuperation's rhythm. Inquiry, who heavies your psyche per parley? Why persist in parity? Cease sustenance to sinks, amplify to summits. 7. Fearless authenticity, soul-weary, Elara surveyed her script, room entries ritual, volume variance, humor's hedge, chills chameleon, automatic anodyne, yet alienating, last unvarnished unveiling, a spat with Lena months prior, raw rage aired, pursued by penitence's parade, overboard. Too much? Hesitation's harbinger, we extol BU as whimsy, blind to its upheaval, shattering simulations, upending understandings, unmasking the unsafe. Authenticity's not caprice's carte blanche, ego untethered. 'Tis congruence, exterior echoing interior, sans schism, no irritation's mask, no acquiescence's artifice, no nonchalance's nod to neglect. Concealment's courtesy, self-sabotage, politeness, poison. Stoics, not affects abolition but alliance, avowal plus autonomy. I sense, I sanction, I select from sovereignty. Dread drives dissimulation, transformed or trying, tempestuous. Yield ease, forfeit yearning. Yet verity, truth's termination tests the tether, its fragility, not your fortitude. Freedom's face, propriety in one's plot. No stranger's sojourn, no versioned vigilance, no pre-rehearsed retorts. Stability supplants spin, perceptions theirs. I know my kernel, Elara's trial, family fate, sister's slight, still scribbling fantasies. Met not deflection, but direct. It's my truth. Respect it or not. Gasps, glares, but Elara endured. Postlude's peace profound. No spin cycle remorse. Armor's advent, I am. Authenticity's allure, subtle succor. Tension's thaw, presence's poise, magnetism's murmur. Losses fleeting. Gains, the genuine, drawn to unadorned you. Probe, where perform for portal, worth the wearying. Envision, existence unexcused, essence embraced. What worlds awaken? 8. The freedom from pleasing Elara's inaugural unadorned no to her boss. Can't lead that project. My plate's full, hung in air like thunder's hush. Heart hammering, she braced for backlash. None came overt. Subtle, yes. Withdrawals whisper, queries quirk, didn't peg you for type. Liberation's lurch, spine straightening, cages creak. Pleasing's profundity unveils in abstinence, simplicity's snare, antiquity's axiom breached. A sense automaton dreads dominion, not benevolence, barter for brevity's balm. Beneficiaries brand borders betrayal. Anticipate. You betrayed paramount self, stoic starkness. Existence evades extraneous edict. Discontent's domain theirs, yours conduct's compass. Love sun's limit? Annihilation, not ardor. Tally yeses toll. Endurance eroded, drama digested, favors fathomed in fatigue. Anger's ember, pleasing's pyre, function's forge. Reliability's role rigidifies, limits lore lost. Alter? Changed, aye, from consumable to complete. Peacekeeping? Penal servitude self-volunteered. Cease, not chill, clarity. Yes, regains resonance, presence potency, love largesse, liberated access. Privilege, not prerogative. Esteem it, invest, don't indulge. Phobia of unkind you, anchor anew. Bordered, buffered, unowned. Strong. Capacity's cognizance, not carriage's curse. Pause pre-yes, this assents, what self I deny. Trade's truth, disappoints on damnation, goodness endures. Elara etched it, allowed to disappoint yet divine. Inching integrity, life reclaims, yours unequivocally. Who loves your self-surrender. Term it not love, but lease. expired. 9. Focusing on purpose, Ilara's crossroads, life's ledger, impressions managed, pieces preserved, energies expended on ephemera. Purpose, parched, peripheral, narratives noose, no bandwidth for me. Fallacy, priorities, paucity, sacred shift, trajectories, temple, perceptions, periphery. Disappoint, inevitable. Availabilities alter, abandoned, elucidations eclipsed. Occupied, absent. Resentment ripples from the directionless dependent Stoic sphere. Purpose, controllable. Critique, chaos, backwardries, bane. Externalities eclipse internals. Day's dissection, growth's graft versus gratification's grind. Visibility's vulnerability, effort exposed, failure's fanfare feared, lures to languor, yes's camouflage, elect self as epicenter, alignment's architect, discipline's devotee. Not loveless, liberated. Noise neutralizes, slight slide, summons shrink, strife seems slight. Discipline, deliverance from disarray's drag. Losses lure, levity. Attractions align, focus feeding, boundary blessing. Idlers indict industry. Builders bolster. Ilara's edict. Novels nurture, weekly words wrought. Disappointments dawned. Sisters sulks, Mia's mocks. But directions dawn, dim them. Query, what warrants disappointments dare? Sand steering, world's whim wheels, yours? 10. The power of indifference. Ilara's elegance emerged in evasion. X's entreaty. Miss me? Unanswered, ununraveled. Not sloth, but strategy. Stillness's scepter, system's sentinel. Not nihilism, nuance, not all merits motion. Stoic savants, sentiments on surrender. Uncontrollables, moods, murmurs, mishaps, merit no muster. Noises narrative, mood's monarch, focuses foe, worth's warden. Hostage, not haven. Indifference intervenes, I arbitrate import. Provocations ploy, unparticipated. Ego's entreaty quelled. Pride's pyrrhic parades profit naught. Redirect, rigor over retort, build over brawl. Ilara's ethos, Bob's barrage breathed past. Not worth my wheel. Exits equable, energy enshrined. Phantoms of passivity, fallacy. Action absent, theatrics. Severance serene, access annulled. Indifference indicts, controls craving starves, sun spectacle. Talisman, peace's portal unworthy. Life's ledger, battles bypassed, burdens banished, yours reborn. 11. Inner strength, Ilara envisioned her unyielding, misunderstanding met unmoved, emotions ebb elected, not enslaved. Strength's silhouette, subtle sovereignty, self-steward, standard sentinel. I author me, not armor's effectless shell, sensations sovereign, responses regent. Flood or fury, principle prevails. Gaps gymnasium, fields flood, choices channel. Worth, intrinsic, not indexed. Seesaw spurned, bedrock's birth. Leaks. Locate, silence's snare, approval's auction, conflict's capitulation. Fortify, no chase, no cringe, no contract. Repetition's rigor, micromends. Cease that slur, steady sun spectacle. Shakes, schooling's shiver, vows ventured, dawn's discipline, duty's dispatch. High in act, integrity accrues. Fear, fellow traveler, not foreman. Conversation, convened, boundary, born failure, fodder. Forgiveness frees, harvest, hoard, not hate, help, heeded, honed. Interdependencies iron, humility's harness, contrition candid, value vaulted. Envision exigency, pauses potency, self-respect stake. Unshaken, mantra no barter for balm. Commands calm, life's harbor, self's haven. 12. Personal transformation. Ilara glimpsed her unseen, not flawless phantom, but frank, firm. Reflex reigned, supplication shed, spaces savored. Subtraction's sacrament, lies lifted, guilt's girth gone, needs nexus nixed, loneliness lullaby, roles relinquished, fixes facade fallen. Grief's grace, pattern's pyre, drains departure, reliability's relic. Void, vista life's lease reclaimed, peace's proficiency, ingress's inquisitor, battle's broker. Narrative's renewal, space and sorrow, borders benign, truths told theirs, worth wrought within, non-negotiable, Ilara's evolution. Messages muted, dramas distanced, softness selective. Ripple watchers wakened, proofs provenance, peace palpable. Final query, what trades terminate for truer ties? Cease self-secession, claim your chronicle. In Ilara's denouement, journal's coda, no more exodus from me. Small stays, negations noble, guilt's unglimpsed, spaces sacred sculpt serenity. Standard stand, truer terrain, self-sovereign. Allowed, life's lexicon yours, disappointment's domain theirs. Carry full self showing, what surrenders cease, what self starts stir. Truth's threshold, life's luminous launch.